Hey, this is Joe from LearnThatStuff.com, and today we're going to be learning about motion tweens in Adobe Flash CS3. Okay, so first off, open up Flash and then go to File, New, Flash File, and then hit OK. Now, first off, I want to create a rectangle. So I'm going to select a rectangle, and I'm going to draw it on the stage. Now, if I zoom in between Control Alt or Control Space and highlight, you can see this green border around here. I do not want that, so I'll zoom out, and so what I'll do to get rid of it is double click that border and hit delete. So now we don't have a border. Now if I knew I didn't want that when I created the shape, what I can do, I can come over to the border and click this red line. Now when I create a rectangle, there will be no line on it. So I am going to delete this one. And so now if we wanted to make this thing travel across, animate across to the other side, I hit space to, if you hold space, you can pan around your stage. You just hold space and then click down and then you can move around. So I wanted this to travel across the stage. Now, to do it without motion tweens, you'd have to do it frame by frame. So what you would do is you'd start it over here, and then you'd come up, and then you'd right click, you'd go insert keyframe. So then you'd move it over a bit. You'd come up here, you'd right click, you'd go insert keyframe, you'd move it over a little more, and you'd continue that process. Now, a shortcut for that, for the insert keyframe, is F6. So you hit F6, you move it over a bit. F6, over. F6, over. So you're just continuously creating the keyframes and you move it over a bit. Now, I'll hit enter and watch it animate. See, that's not that good. I can even, if you hit Control Enter, that'll publish the movie. So this is what the movie would look like if you were to publish it to the internet. Now, okay. Now that's a little choppy, and say you came along and say, "Oh, that's happening too quick. I need to slow it down." Now with frame by frame, you'd have to come in every frame and come and hit F5. F5. Now what F5 is? It's insert frame. So to F5 is a shortcut for it, or you could right click, insert frame. Right click, insert frame. But I like to hit F5 because it's quicker, and I don't have to right click. So now when we test it, Control Enter, it's slower and it skips along. Now it could be smooth if I actually went in here and adjusted this thing, but I mean that would take a lot of time. But you could get your desired result doing that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to highlight this and leave the first frame and remove the rest of them. Now with the motion tween, first off, what I want to do is create a symbol. So I'm going to highlight this box, and then I'm going to right click and convert to symbol. The hotkey for that would be F8. So I'm going to name this box and hit OK. So make sure a movie clip is selected and hit OK. So now I'm going to come over to frame 30 and hit F6. Remember, insert keyframe. Now now I'm going to move this box across the stage. Now when I hit enter, what do you see? Actually, it's both off stage, so you don't actually see it. So when I hit enter over here, it scrubs through it and it just bounces, right? It just appears, teleports over to the other end. So what we want it to do is we want it to calculate how many frames it needs to do to get to this side. So all we have to do is in between the frames, we right click and create motion tween. So now it calculated this in between. So when I hit enter, it'll travel at a constant rate across. Now that's pretty cool. Say we want to slow it down now. For example, all I have to do is highlight the frames, right click, and then remove frames. Now it's much slower, and it wasn't that much work. It was very simple to do. Now, what's pretty cool about Tweens is not only can you move it around the stage like this. Here, let's you can make the size bigger. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this, and then I'm going to grab the free transform tool, which is right here. I'm going to select the free transform tool, and then I'm going to grab a corner, and now I want it to scale equally so it doesn't like resize it to a weird shape. So I'm going to hold shift and drag to make the size grow. Oh, sorry about that. So now this size increased. So now when I hit enter, it will increase the size of the square very easily. Alright, so say we wanted this to start out slow and then speed up at the end. So what we would do is click in between, and then we would come down here to our properties menu. Now the property menu is if you don't see it here, you go to Windows and come up to properties, and right here you can enable properties. Yeah, and for any of these windows, if they don't appear, they'll be in Windows. So now what we're going to do is select in between, and then on the ease. Now, if you want it to ease, you can ease in and ease out. Now, easing in will start it slow and then speed up. And then ease out will start fast and then slow down. Now, the way to remember that is you can ease into it by easing into the tween. So you start in, and then you ease in, and then ease out of it. So when I want to get out of the tween, it will slow down. So I wanted it to speed up, so I did an ease in. So I hit enter, and it starts slow and it speeds up. Okay, so now I want you to come over to frame 30, right click, insert keyframe. Now remember, that's the same as hitting F6. So now with that frame selected, come over to your box and drag it over to the center of the stage. Now let's hit Control Enter and see what that did. Now see how it just bounces over and it moves at a steady rate. So now that's kind of abrupt. So let's come into the center and take that ease, and let's ease out so it stops at the end. So let's hit Control Enter, and there you go. So now it slows down. Now what I wanted to do, I wanted to spin around a couple times. So now in between, we can come down here to rotate, select rotate, and let's go counterclockwise. Now let's say we want to rotate 3 times. So we'll hit 3. So now when we hit Control Enter, it comes over and it rotates 3 times. And that seems like it's freaking out and spinning too fast, which means we probably need some more frames in there. So I'll come over in between here, I'll highlight a group of frames and then hit F5 a couple times. So now we have a longer time frame. So now it slows down into a stop. Alright, so that looks pretty cool. Now I want this animation to be able to loop and continuously loop. So what I'll do is I'll come over to this initial first frame, and I'm going to hold Alt. Now when I Alt and drag the frame across, I'm going to set it on 70. Now this frame is a copy of this original frame. Now it will automatically tween into that. So I'll hit Control Enter, and now it'll spin, it'll go back to the beginning, and then it will start again. Now since this is recording, you won't notice that this, in the beginning, it's getting 2 frames of extra length. So what I want to do is come here and hit F6, so now the frames won't double. And now I'll come over to this end frame, right click, and I'll go remove frame. So now it'll be perfectly smooth. It'll come, stop, and it will just loop, and it will continuously do that. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and check out LearnThatStuff.com. Alright, see you later.